Hey guys, in this video, I'm going to share with you how to use this powerful money management system and how it can work for you in building your wealth. We are now here in the money management system template, and this is a proven and tested formula for you to build a solid financial foundation, keep you on top of all the expenses, and build wealth in the long run. So this is the one that I followed that helped me build a solid financial foundation and helped me accumulate assets that generates asset for me and my wife. So let me show you first how does this money management system will work for you. Let me tour you around first. You must follow my cursor, and here you can see there's January to December. What it means is this is a budgeting template for you, but this is not just a normal budgeting. And some people thinks that if it's a budgeting template, you have to do it every day consistently, you have to be committed. Of course, you must be committed in budgeting, but this one, you don't need to do it every day. You only need to sit here in one day, maybe a 15 to 20 minutes of your time in one day for the whole month. That should be fine. So how does this work is, before we go further, let me just explain this, how this money management system template will work perfectly for you. Here, this is automated, and this is also a protected cells. You cannot edit some of the cells here, like for example the total income. You cannot touch this anymore. Automatically, what you just need to do here, you just key in the amount. Let's say for example you have a salary of $5,000. All you need to do here is you key in the $5,000. You notice that there's a surplus of 100, and if it's a green color, meaning it's okay. But if it shows red, it's highlighted red for you, the percentage, it means that you are going beyond the budget, you are overspending. So that's the power of this budgeting template. So here you can notice this money management system template follows a powerful categorization of all your expenses every month. You see here, there's a 50% in necessity, 25% in the future, 15% for wants, and 10% for protection. So what does this mean? It doesn't mean that 50% for necessity. Let's say for example, for the salary of $5,000, we know the 50% is $2,500. It doesn't mean that your expenses for necessity or important expenses every month that you have to do must be fixed at $2,500 or 50%. It doesn't go that way. It means that this is the benchmark for you to budget all the expenses that you have for necessity. As much as possible, if you can go below 50%, that is better, because it means whatever excess that you have, if let's say for example you only have 30% of necessity expense, meaning you have more money for you to allocate in your future planning or for your wants. So that's the good thing about this one. But here you will notice there's three columns here for each and every one. You have the category, budget, and actual. So what I meant a while ago about sitting one time in a month is you will be just putting a budget in all expenses. You must have a budget. Take note, even governments are doing it. They set a budget every year. But for you, since we are small fry, we just want to budget our monthly income. So here you must budget monthly. So let's say for example, for Christians like me, you have to put a budget of 10% for tithes. For this person, his salary is 5,000, so the budget for tithes and offerings is 500. That's the budget. And the PUB or utilities, take note, you can change this. If you don't want PUB, you can put this utilities. Then the budget for your utilities per month is $100. So that is the budget. So this is what you will do every month. You have to set a budget for each particular expense, even for wants. As much as possible, like what I said, you don't want to go beyond 15%. Make it as much as possible lower than it, because the more you have, the more you have for future plan. So gym, let's say for example, you're playing for gym, let's put here $160. So that's what you will do. You will just set a budget for expense. If you're a parents, you want to plan for your educational plan for your child, you will have a budget here for retirement, emergency, property, cash liquidity, and more. What does this future planning means is this is an expense for you, of course, but this is an expense that generates income for you or generates asset for you in the long run. So this is for future, and put more here as much as possible. Then 10% for protection. This is for life insurance, especially for critical illness, because it's the common problem right now everywhere. So as much as possible, you get a plan with a cash value, so at least your money will not be wasted month by month or year by year for buying a term insurance. But it's up to you. As much as possible, you don't want to go beyond 10%. Then, because here, take note, before I forget this, health insurance is also protection, but this is part of the necessity. It's an important and necessary expense for us every month. So this 10% protection is only for life insurance. Then again, for wants, these are not important, but of course we keep on working every month. You don't want just to put all your money for future planning. Of course, you must enjoy. So here, you must set a budget every month. And here, on the last column, the actual, you will see, what does this mean is, this is the actual money you spent for a budget. Let's say, for example, for the tithes and offerings, you have spent $500. Of course, meaning you go within the budget of 500. Then the utilities, 100. Let's say, for example, your expenditure for utilities is only $80. So you are below the budget. That's good. You can notice here, whatever you have key in your actual, automatically will reflect on your total expense. So you don't need to do anything here. Automatically, it will reflect. So you see here, if this is the amount of expenses that I have put in, there's an 88.4%, meaning I'm still green, I'm still on surplus. And you will notice here, below in the necessity part, my necessity 50% is only 11.6%, meaning I'm still green. That means I'm still within the budget of below 50%. If it turns red, it means that I'm overspending in a particular category. So that's the power of this budgeting template. And other than that is this one. This is very important because this is where many people are being penalized. Of course, you notice here, this is the necessity and wants expense monitoring. What does this mean is you will have to put in here all the expenses for necessity that has a due date. Let's say, for example, you have a due date for your accommodation, for your mortgage. You have a due date for your phone bills, of course. You have for remittances, for your health insurance. You will put here, let's say, for example, you have a health insurance. I will put here a health insurance. And when is the due date? It's being due every 10th of the month. You'll just have to put here 10th. So meaning, once you look at this budgeting template at a glance, you will know that you are due on the 10th of the month and you must settle it before 10th of the month. Of course, that same goes for wants. You have to put in here, let's say, for example, you have a personal loan, you purchase an item, a laptop maybe, then you use a credit card, you must put here credit laptop, for example, then due date is on the 10th or the 15th. So you put here 15th. So meaning, this is the due date that you must, to keep you reminded that this is the day that you have to settle your bill for that particular expense. So this same goes for August, September, October, November, December. This is a powerful budgeting template for you, so you can monitor everything and to keep you on track and to make sure that you're spending 25% for your future to build wealth in the long run. And one more thing is, there's other 4 categories here that we haven't introduced yet. Let's go now here. Let's first go with the year-end summary. In this year-end summary, you will notice you don't need to do anything here. This is just at a glance. It just shows you how much is your total income year to date and the total expense per category. Here, you notice here, total income. This is the total income that you generated if you have used this from January to July. Let's say, for example, your income is 5,000 a month. 5,000 times 7 months, because you've been working since January, times 5,000. 5,000 times 7 is 35,000. So if you have used it, key in here everything, automatically in the year-end summary, it will show here the 35,000, the total income that you generated for the whole year. And the total expense, Each category will show you all the expense here, and the purpose of this year-end summary is for you to see if you are overspending over on a particular expense. Let's say, for example, in the transportation, during the January to July, you spent $1,000 every month, and you notice that in this one quick glance that you're overspending, you think that you're overspending. So meaning, you have to adjust accordingly. So the good thing about this year-end summary is for you to do the necessary adjustment if you want to reduce the expense in a particular expenditure. So automatically it will reflect here what is your total expense, the summary, and here there's a chart. You see here there's nothing here yet because I haven't placed anything, but once you have put in something in your monthly expenses and income, automatically it will show you a chart of how big is the chunk of expense in a particular category. So that's for the year-end summary. So this is for your quick glance, and you have a credit here. This is what I also want about this budgeting template or money management system. It's because all the credits that you have, is it property, personal loan, it does not matter as long as it's a loan. You will put in here the name of the loan, the bank, which bank, how many years to pay, how much per month are you paying, how much is the principal loan, how much did you loan in that particular credit, the due date. Again, this is very important because one glance you will see here when is the due date, what day of the month, so you will not be penalized, because especially for the banks, they don't want to be paid late. If you pay them late, they will penalty you. So it's important for you to keep yourself on track on these expenses. So due date and ending, when will this credit ends. This is for the credit. And also, of course, other than credit, the important ones like insurance, this is also can be used as a policy summary for you. Health, let's say for example, policy name, what's the policy, what type of insurance is this one, is it an accident and health, life insurance, investment insurance, pure investment, like that, for whom, is it for yourself, for your spouse, children, or others, for name, how much is the monthly, what is the mode of payment, when is the due date. Again, this is very important because you don't want to be penalized, and the policy number. If you want to do manual payment, you can use this as a reference. So this is a powerful tool for insurance category for you to stay on track, that you are on top of all the expenses of your insurances, because the most painful part of paying an insurance is sometimes you forget to pay one policy, and the moment you need it, let's say for example, you have completely forgotten to pay for a hospitalization plan, and on the third month you get hospitalized, then the moment you want to claim, then you forget about it because you don't have a proper monitoring. Then that's the hardest part. You cannot claim anything, of course, right? It's very painful, and you might be suing or you might be blaming your agent, so it's very hard. So this is the power of the insurance category, so to keep you on track and to keep you updated on all the expenses that you have. So this is for insurance. And lastly, and we have the investments here. This is also part of the future planning here. Future planning. In the investments, there's different categories here. There's retirement, education, property investing, cash liquidity, emergency cash reserve, business equity, other investments if you have others. Then let's say for example, for someone like who wants to plan for their retirement, you can put the investment names here. If you're investing in stocks, you can put here stocks. How much do you pay? How much is the amount you accumulated? When do you want to stop paying? What age do you need it? What is the goal amount? And of course, the due date. If you have due dates, let's say for example, this is very important for properties because you have due date on your loans. So you have to keep on track of this. You have to check this one glance, so at least you can see that you are not being late on your payment terms. So this is for the list of future planning at a glance category. So guys, this is the money management system template that worked for me, and this is the one that really helped me build a solid financial foundation and helped me acquire an asset that generates asset. So I hope that this budgeting template worked for you, and I also want to hear your success stories soon. So take note, I'm going to give this to you for free. No hidden charges or anything. This is completely free and I'm going to give it to all of you. And that is only for a limited time. So you better click the button to download this, and I will send the link to you. And I hope that you can use this perfectly suitable for your finances.